You guys are with me, but I can hardly believe we are at the end of another year. This year absolutely flew by. Anyways, we have a lot of stuff to share with everyone today in our monthly boot camp. Many of you know we offer this tools boot camp basically every first Friday of every single month, and it is designed to help you reorganize and reassess all the tools, the training, the technology that is available for your business. So I like to start every boot camp by reminding you that knowledge is not power, knowledge is potential. Power is in the execution. So we want to make sure that since you are investing time with us today, we want to make sure that you execute and take some of the things that you learned today and bring them over to your business for 2025. So throughout the program, I always say we're going to cover probably 30 or 40 items that you may want to bring over into your business over the next few hours. Even if you write down 5 or 6 things that you're going to execute on, so that you don't get super overwhelmed. We want to chunk it down into something manageable for your business. So as we go throughout the program, I'll give you some helpful hints on things that I would execute on if I did not have these pieces already set up for my business. So make sure you have a piece of paper available or a place just to take notes, iPad, or even on your phone using a notes app, so that after you leave today, you have a system or a way that you're going to go and execute on some of the items that we talk about. So I could see that both on inside our Facebook group, some of you guys are watching today inside our Facebook group, some of you are logged into the webinar. And one of the pieces that I like to start with is, as you'll notice, we are a real estate brokerage. Some of you work at LAER Realty, some of you don't. It really doesn't matter. You're going to get as much today if you're working at another real estate brokerage. This is not a recruiting program or anything like this. This program, which we develop and change constantly, is designed to help any agent at any brokerage incorporate really good tools, training, technology into their business. So if you're with another brokerage and you see LAER, I don't want you to back out of the program and say, oh, it's not meant for me. It's totally meant for you. It's meant for any real estate agent who is dedicated to making small changes in their business, because those small changes compound over time and end up being monumental changes for your business. So I'm going to get started on our program. And first thing that I am going to start with is our program guide. So this is the LAER Program and Services Guide. This is a 40-page booklet of all the tools, training, and technology available at LAER. We update this a couple times a year. Anybody can download this. So if you go to laerrealty.com/success tools, so LAER is LAER, realty.com/success tools. You can download a PDF of this booklet. It's about 40 pages. The cool thing about downloading it, so when you land on laerrealty.com/success tools, if you scroll to the very bottom of the page, there's a place where you can download the PDF. If you have access to a printer, it's great to download it and then take notes throughout today's program. But even if you don't have access to a printer, download it, because through this booklet, we have lots of hyperlinks. So anytime you see links or underlines within the booklet, that is a link to tools, training, technology. This is an interactive booklet. So that's why we start with it, because some of the initial tools that we're going to talk about that all of you have access to, you don't have to be a LAER agent to have access to what we're going to talk about over the next couple hours, is linked within this guide. So you'll want to hang on to this guide no matter what. Okay, so little background on our brokerage. We are independent real estate brokerage. I like to say, even though we are small, relatively small for our industry, with about 800 real estate agents, we are originally based in Massachusetts, but we also have offices in New Hampshire and Maine and Florida. We're also licensed in Rhode Island and Connecticut, and we are continuing to expand. Where the name LAER came from is when we started the brokerage 10 years ago, our goal was to build and to attract great real estate agents. So what makes a great real estate agent? Great real estate agents are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain, just meaning the best agents are just really good at overcoming obstacles. And the best agents are true protectors of their clients. They do not work for the paycheck. The paycheck is a result of the fact that they are working for the best interest of the people that they represent. So at the time that I started the company, I had put all the words that represent a great real estate agent into a Google search: strong, protector, negotiator. And the first thing that showed up when I did that was a lion. So I said, that's it. We'll build our brand around the lions of real estate. Lions hang out in lairs. We changed the spelling of LAER because ours is the mirror image of real. And then we created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. As you know, lions hang out in lairs. I always tell people that the lions of real estate are at LAER. But also, one thing you'll note is sometimes you see lion statues in front of a home. That is because the lion is a symbol of protection for the home. We look at it that there's a new symbol of protection for real estate in the markets we do business in, and that is our LAER for sale sign. So that's just a little background on our history. But one of the initial goals from the very beginning, when we started the brokerage, was our goal was to accelerate success for all real estate agents. That doesn't mean just LAER agents. So we've always opened up our tools, our training, our marketing, everything that I promised in the email that goes out, marketing this monthly event, is provided to all agents. So let's dig in, and we'll start with the LAER Program and Services Guide. If you just got on, you can go to laerrealty.com/success tools and download this so that you have a copy of it. The next few pages talk about our cultural values. I always tell agents, when considering making a brokerage move, make sure your values align with whatever brokerage you go to, so that you know you will be there for a long time. I then talk about the fact that we're independent. That's one of the things that we're super proud of, is that even though we're fairly small with 800 real estate agents, we are consistently ranked by Real Trends and the Riz Media Power Broker report as one of the largest brokerages in the country based on the number of transactions that our agents do. Okay, from here on out, the booklet is broken down into 4 sections so that you can easily navigate and find the pieces of technology that you're most interested in exploring. The first section is marketing and branding. The second section that we'll talk about in a little bit is technology tools. The third section is training and education, and the fourth section is just administrative support tools. We're going to spend the next hour or so really just focusing on marketing and branding, because we put it in the order. This whole booklet was created in an order in which the pieces matter most to most real estate agents. So in speaking to agents, one of the things that agents sometimes struggle with is marketing and branding. How do you get your name out there? How do you become the go-to source of real estate within your community? And that is a byproduct of marketing and branding, which is why we're going to spend so much time on that this morning. We're going to give you tons of tools, Canva templates, so that you can literally download and start using a lot of the products today, no matter what brokerage you work for. Okay, so the first stop we're going to make, where we're going to get all those free Canva templates right at the beginning of the program, is LAERagentservices.com. So if you click on LAERagentservices.com, as I said before, that magazine, the program and services guide, anytime you see an underline within that booklet, that is a link to more information. So it's an interactive guide. So we just clicked on the first tool, and it is a marketing and branding tool, and it is called the LAER Agent Services Dashboard. So you can get to it at LAERagentservices.com. The first thing you'll note is there's no password. So anybody can go on here and you're going to find tons of great content for your business. So right at the top, I'll give you guys a little overview of the agent services dashboard, and then we're going to dig in and look at some of the Canva marketing pieces. They're all templates, meaning you can open them and use them right away and customize them. So we'll talk about how you can do that. But first, I want to give you an overview of the agent services dashboard. So right at the top, you'll see we have like a little table of contents or menu right at the top. Just really quickly, the first link over here is the Happy Agent Host Schedule. This is if you're a LAER agent. If you're a LAER agent, we have, I think, 40 plus offices throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and Florida. And most of those offices have staff there regularly. So if you want to know if one of our agent hosts is in the office, maybe you have somebody dropping off a check, for example, or it could be anything. You can just click on this Happy Agent Host Schedule. It takes you over to a calendar. It shows you who is working where in our offices throughout all of the states we do business in. The next button on the top is our agent newsletter. This is our monthly internal newsletter just for the our real estate agents. So this comes out once a month, and a couple things you'll see on here: any new agents that recently joined. There's always a letter right at the top from me. You'll see that right now we're on our 28th issue. So we've been doing this for a couple of years, every single month. We have information about our upcoming holiday door decorating contest. There's always a section of technology tips, great books to consider. But the big reason that we encourage our agents to check out the newsletter every month is because of this little section down here where you can see what's happening in the lives of your fellow agents. We have some agents that got married recently, agents that had babies, accomplishments, who lost family members. So this is a great opportunity just to find out what's happening in the lives of your fellow agents. And you'll see there's always a movie recommendation, a sustainability segment. And then you guys will also see this month. We always have our birthdays too for the month listed on there. But this month for the November newsletter, we took pictures. Our agents, we gave out about 1,200 pies for our organized pie appreciation events across all of the offices. So you can see some fun photos of that. But all that's under our LAER newsletter. Recently joined just takes you down here of agents who recently joined our brokerage. And then we have the marketing I'll take you guys to in a second. Marketing, growth, development, agent tools, and our directory all goes down to the bottom. So it just brings you down to the bottom sections here. But right at the top of the page here, by the way, you'll note all of the buttons look like houses. So these are little houses. The reason we designed it like this is because you guys are in real estate and we know you love to explore real estate. So we created these little houses in thoughts that you could go explore each little house and find great information for your business. So at the very top here, we have resources for recently joined LAER agents. So I do see on here, some of you are agents who have joined the brokerage recently. Number one, right at the top, you can get our program and services guide. So that's the guide we just talked about a moment ago at laerrealty.com/success tools. We also have a section of frequently asked questions. So anybody that's a LAER agent, you know that you can just email happyagent@laerrealty.com, and we're always happy to have somebody answer your questions for you. But there's all kinds of great information under this help board. Basically, every year we take like the 200 plus most common questions that our happy agent team receives, and then we turn it into this frequently asked questions section. So for agents that recently joined our brokerage, that's a great place to start if you have a quick question on something. And then under Tell the World, we have some marketing pieces for agents that recently joined, from announcement letters, announcement posts, things like that. We also have a section here of our recently joined agents. In case you're a LAER agent and you don't see yourself here, we don't post here until we have your photo and your bio. So once we receive your photo and your bio, we go in here and just update. So this is a great place where you can go learn about your fellow agents who recently joined the brokerage. You'll see a little bio here. For example, Dee was born and raised in Haiti. So you can find all kinds of great information about your coworkers here. All right, down to marketing, branding, and presentations. We're going to spend about 45 minutes here because there's a lot of stuff going on just in this section alone. So first, let's take a look at guides, presentations, and brochures. This is where you can get all those Canva templates that I spoke of earlier. We put it in the email that goes out for this event. We promise it, as one of the reasons many of you come to this program is to see what kind of new marketing pieces we're updating for real estate agents. So first off, important to note, all of the marketing that we do at our company is based off of Canva. So in case you're not familiar with Canva, Canva is a marketing / branding technology, but it's made for laymen. What I mean by that is, many years ago, a great deal of our marketing pieces were built off of like Adobe. So the problem with that is that you really needed to be an expert in Adobe in order to understand how to go in and make beautiful content. So we had our marketing team back then creating beautiful pieces, but if an agent wanted to make any change to any of those pieces, really they had to go through a marketing person. They really couldn't do it on their own, because the amount of time that needed to be invested to learn Adobe was extensive. So nobody wanted to do that. Well, then Canva came out, and Canva, by the way, it has an app and you can use it on your computer. Canva makes it so that anybody can create beautiful marketing and branding pieces. What kind of marketing and branding pieces? Well, social media pieces, social media, listing presentations, buyer presentations, pre-listing packages, buyer guides, seller guides, investor guides, literally anything. I find myself using Canva for everything, even stuff that would have been like a Word document many years ago. I now put on Canva because I can make it beautiful. I can update it. I can share it with my team members so that we can all together collaborate on a document. So Canva has been one technology that is a game changer for all of us. Now, there's a free version and a paid version of Canva. If you've never used Canva, at least go sign up for the free version of Canva. You can use 95% of its capability under the free version. You'll be able to open and utilize all the templates we created here. One thing that you'll note is that if you are using the free version of Canva, you'll run into a couple of slight roadblocks, nothing major, but if you're using the free version of Canva, oftentimes our marketing team uses the upgraded version of Canva, which I believe now is $15 per month. And it's less expensive if you pay per year, but roughly 15 bucks a month. And we use the upgraded version of Canva. What that means is we have access through the upgraded version of Canva to more stock images. So stock images, let's go look at a sample document here just to give you an idea what I'm speaking of. We put together this expired listing packet. This is brand new. So you'll see this one just came out in November. This is because we're seeing in many of the marketplaces, our properties are sitting on the market for a little bit longer, and we're seeing an uptick in the number of expired listings in every market we do business in. So we wanted to create a marketing piece that is for the agents that are going after reaching out to expired listings. And this is just a little 9-page booklet we created that says, my home didn't sell. Now what? So that you have a nice marketing piece that if a property expires, you could go either mail it to the expired listing or go show up at their house. I always like to say I haven't sold real estate now in many, many years, but when I first started in the business 30 years ago, I had no sphere of influence. So a big piece of my business, the way I built my business was through expired listings. And each morning I had a system in place that I would go, as soon as a property became expired, I would show up at the person's house with a package. So if the house down the street expired, I'd go knock on their door, usually early in the morning because people are there and super friendly because I don't consider myself a salesperson. I'd just go knock on the door and say, oh, I just saw that your listing expired and I wanted to drop off some information in case you are considering interviewing brokerages again. And I got a ton of business by just doing that. The reason is because, first of all, if you're going after reaching out to expired listings, you're already in the top 5% of real estate agents. Most are not going to reach out to an expired. But of the ones that are reaching out to expired listings, most of them are doing it by mail. And some of them are doing it by phone call. And very few are, like almost none, are showing up and knocking on the door. I get it doesn't work in all communities. I know, for example, in Florida, we have a lot of gated communities. Makes it a little more difficult to just show up and door knock somebody. But in many of the markets we do business in, you could absolutely create a really nice expired package and go door knock each morning before 9 a.m. any properties that just became expired listings from the evening before. So back to Canva. This is a 9-page booklet on My Home Didn't Sell, Now What? I was talking about stock imagery. So what you see right here is stock imagery. Like this photo with the couch and the lamp and the chair and the TV, somebody's living room. This is what we call a stock image. This means nobody from LAER went and took this photo. It was a photo that we got as part of our membership with Canva. Now, most likely, this particular image is part of the upgraded version of Canva. So I mentioned before that we have the free version of Canva and the paid version of Canva. If you have a free version of Canva and you open and use one of our documents, so you have the free version of Canva, we have the paid version of Canva. The only thing that you will notice occasionally is sometimes you'll open a document and you will see a big X across the photo, or it'll say Canva across the photo. It's not going to let you use that photo. You might say, well, I'm fine with it saying Canva, I'll just download it. It won't let you download the document into a PDF so that you can print it and bring it to somebody's house. Does that mean you can't use the document? No. All it means is you have to change the photo. So if you have the free version of Canva, occasionally what will happen is you're going to have to go through, like this is a 9-page document. You would have to go through the 9 pages and see if there are any pages that have stock imagery that you can't use. Now, if you're using the free version of Canva and you don't see the big Canva watermark on it, then you're fine. But if you see a Canva watermark, or if you go to download the PDF of this document and it won't let you download, it's because in your document somewhere, we used a photo that was only available to the Canva users who pay for the premium version. If you use the premium version of Canva, you don't have to worry about this. You'll have access to everything that we create. So either way, you could still use all the documents. You can still use all the marketing pieces. The only difference is if you are using the free version of Canva, occasionally you're going to have to change out an image to use it. Secondly, some of you watching today are not with our brokerage. And you'll see we have our stuff all branded with our LAER stuff on here. But you'll also see we make it super easy to delete. Whoops, I just deleted the photo, which I didn't mean to do. So you can delete our logo and put your own logo in. You can add your photo. You can do whatever you want to any of these documents. The way Canva works is what we share on our LAER program and services guide is what they call a template. That means as soon as you open the template in your Canva account, it now becomes your version of the template. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, what happens if I go and change stuff? Is it going to show my logo and my face on this version? Our version is never changing from this because it's a template. As soon as you press open template, it's opening into your version. It's a brand new template. Whatever changes you make, only you can see. They're only on your version. So it just basically duplicates what we already have here. So this one is a 9-page booklet on My Home Didn't Sell, Now What? And it just talks about some of the reasons why the property might not have sold, who you work with matters, a multi-phase marketing plan, staging for your home, top reasons why homes fail to sell. You'll also see we have these built out so that it's meant for you to add your photo, your contact information. So all of this is customizable. Every single page of these documents is customizable. So that was the expired listing package. You'll see we have several versions of our high performance home listing presentation and buyer presentation. By the way, if you scroll way down, you'll see we have like a guide to buyer representation, a listing presentation. By the way, a couple things I want to note. So basically, we have buyer presentations and listing presentations. We also have sustainable for those of you who are into sustainability and high performance homes. We have separate listing and buyer presentations for those for high performance agents. One of the things I want to note is sometimes you will see as you're going through all these marketing pieces that there's a New England version and a Florida version. What's really important to note, so in for LAER agents, the New England agents and Florida agents practice two different types of agency. So in New England, we do buyer representation. Whereas in Florida, we are transaction agents. And that means that there is a lower level of duty that we give to our clients in Florida. So that's why we have two different versions of some of these documents. Like you'll see the LAER guide to buyer representation for New England. You'll also find a guide to buyer representation for Florida, because we're not going to promise as much in the Florida version of that document. I'll take you through. So here's a version, the LAER guide to buyer representation for Florida. So right off the bat, you can see there's two versions of it. You can keep scrolling down. We have buyer guides, we have seller guides, we have investor guides. These are like little mini magazines that you can open and customize. If you're a LAER agent, we also have a LAER brochure that is like a 4-page brochure about our brokerage. So a couple things I want to go back and show you. First, because if you don't have one, which hopefully you do by now, today more than ever, you need a buyer presentation. So we have a few different versions of buyer presentations on our site here. These are open up in kind of like a PowerPoint format almost. The idea of the presentation is that you would go to buyer's house or invite the buyer into your office, open up your buyer presentation. You could do the presentation right in Canva. So I just opened the guide to buyer representation. You can go in and customize this 100%. You can take out slides, you can take out logos, you can update your photos, things like that. But once you're complete with it, when you meet a client, this is how I would do it, is I would show up to the office with my computer, or go to their house with my computer and say, I have a quick presentation that I want to go over with you about buyer representation. The reason this is so important is, for having been in the business now for 30 years, for most of the 30 years, it was never unusual for agent to have a listing presentation, kind of just like this, like a presentation that you sit and show and articulate your value. However, it was very rare that I saw agents that had buyer presentations. Now, the reason for that, by the way, is because on listings, we were always asking the seller to commit to us, to sign a contract with us. In many of the states we do business in, up until recently, there was not a requirement for a buyer contract, for example. So there was no commitment that we were asking for from the buyer. Well, now with all the changes that are happening, we're asking the buyer to make a commitment to us in most instances. I know that there's some caveats to that. There's like touring schedules or touring agreements and stuff like that. But for the most part, we want the buyer to commit to us. So we're not going to just show up and show a property anymore. If somebody wants to go look at a property, I feel like the first step is inviting them into an office and doing this presentation to get the contract signed. And then the next step is to go show them property. So you need to have a really good presentation to articulate your value because you are asking the client to commit to you. So I'll go through this super quickly, but this is just one of the buyer agent presentations. You'll see it's got a section about me. It's got a section about LAER in here. We put a little client feedback section where you would upload some pictures of people you've worked with in the past and give a little testimonial from them. And then we broke this down into a 10-step buying process that you would go through and explain to the buyer. The first step is evaluation, consultation, and representation. So right from the beginning, we talk about the fact that this is one of the most important decisions that the buyer will make in their lifetime. Not only is it a significant financial investment, but the city, state, and the community and the home they choose are the fabric upon which their lives are built. So we want to set ourselves apart from every other real estate agent from the very beginning by noting that, hey, this is a huge step and you need to take this very seriously. And then it talks about whether they actually need a buyer agent and why they need a buyer agent, making sure they understand that the listing agent on the property represents the seller and is not going to be working in their best interest. Then we talk about how agents are paid. And then we talk about what a buyer representation contract is. By the way, if you're with another brokerage, you have to make sure that all this is cohesive with the type of agency you practice. And then what the buyer is committing to in the buyer agency contract. Then I always say it's a good idea to take a copy of whatever buyer contract you're using and just screenshot it and put it here. Because this is the part of the presentation where you would talk about, like, actually go over the contract. That's part one of the 10-step process. Like, just get that out of the way. Next, we talk about determining a price range, evaluating mortgage options, shopping for more than just interest rate. So you could tell them, hey, by just calling around asking what a rate is, you're not really comparing apples to apples. You want to compare the costs as well as the type of program that they're looking at. The difference between pre-qual and pre-approval, what mortgage insurance is. Step 3 is evaluating communities. Step 4 is shopping for a home. This is really, really, really important. One of the things that we embed into our buyer presentation is all the reasons why the consumer should not be shopping for a home on Zillow. If you are not having a conversation about Zillow with your clients, there's a good chance they're going to go shop for a home on Zillow and you'll lose them. There's a chance you'll lose them. So that's why it's so important. Let's just talk about Zillow as part of the presentation. So, by the way, Zillow is not the best search platform anyways. So we let the consumer know that, number one, Zillow does not update real time. So there's a chance you'll go on to Zillow and fall in love with a house that went under agreement 3 weeks ago. Number two, you can't narrow your search down. Zillow only allows you to narrow your search by $50,000 increments. Third, the consumer usually thinks that they're contacting the listing agent when they're on Zillow, which we know that that is not true. They're actually contacting an agent who pays for leads, and it's most often not the listing agent. As for sellers, we know that the Zestimates are highly inaccurate, and we want to make sure that the consumer knows that if you're shopping on Zillow, you should shut your phone off because you're going to get inundated by sales calls from mortgage and real estate people trying to sell you real estate. So we want to let them know not to shop for a home on Zillow, but by the way, you need to have an option where they can go shop for a home. At LAER, the option is Real Scout. So then you want to show them the benefits of utilizing the Real Scout platform and getting them all set up on Real Scout. Next, we want to talk about what happens when they visit open houses. Now, one of the things I want you to think about when you're thinking about your buyer presentation and your listing presentation is the fact that these are checklists. There's a wonderful book by Atul Gawande called The Checklist Manifesto. And it's about how all these great businesses like the airline business, the medical industry, and hospitals, they are built off of checklists, like so that by having protocols in place, things don't slip through the cracks. And that is what your listing presentation and your buyer presentation are. These are checklists. These are checklists so that you could say, yep, I talked to them about what to do if they go visit an open house, that they have to make it clear that they're already represented by somebody. As you grow your business, one of the things that you'll want to do, you're going to have all these checklists as you grow your business. A listing presentation is a checklist. A buyer presentation is a checklist. As you grow your business, you'll constantly be improving the checklists so that stuff does not slip through the cracks. So that's why you don't want to lose a customer because they went to an open house and end up buying through the open house agent. We're going to talk to the buyer about what do they do if they like an off-market property that they see. Somebody at their office is selling a property. What do? They have to call you. Step 5, we're going to talk about property due diligence. So before writing an offer, it's important to research the home. Tax records, permits, lead paint records, condominium documents, even just a Google search. Step 6, pricing and offer strategies. What happens if there is a bidding war? Step 7, writing the offer. What happens if an offer is rejected? What are their choices? What happens if their offer is accepted? What are the next steps? And then we talk about inspections. So beyond the home inspection, like there's a basic home inspection, but we all know that there's also all these other extra inspections that they can consider. What to do if there's too many repairs. So we want to let the consumer know that most likely, but when you do a home inspection, there's always repairs. So we want to prepare them for the fact that there's always going to be some repairs, but let's try to figure out in advance what would too many repairs look like for them. You can also talk about if you give out home warranties, so that if little things break after the closing, that they have some coverage. Step 9, you're going to talk about appraisal and mortgage conditions. What is an appraisal? How they can prevent a mortgage decline. Many of you who've been in the business for a long time have had this happen, that somebody does something during the sale of the property that prevents them from being able to move forward on the mortgage. They quit their job, they buy a new car, they co-sign a debt for a friend. So you want to talk about that because this is your checklist manifesto. Want to make sure that they're not doing any of this stuff. You're then going to talk about homeowners insurance. And then step 10, what happens at a closing? So what is a final walkthrough? What should they do at a final walkthrough? You're going to give them a heads up on some of the closing documents that they'll be looking at for a closing, and and then that's basically it. So this is all customizable for you, but most importantly, I wanted you to think about how can you build in. First of all, you look like a rock star when you have a really good presentation and you've articulated your value. It is so much easier to get a buyer to sign a buyer agency agreement where they say, I'm only going to work with you. I'm going to buy a house through you. So much easier to get somebody to sign that when you've put this work in advance. And by the way, it's not even a lot of work. We've already done all of the work. So all you have to do is go in and tweak it a little bit so that it works for your business. But it's so much easier that, and it's so much more professional. Instead of a buyer calling you and you dropping everything and saying, I'll be there in 15 minutes to show you the house. When a buyer calls, say, I'm very excited to help you explore real estate. Let's set up our initial meeting for at my office at 11:30. I have a quick 20-minute presentation I want to go through with some of the most important things that you'll want to think about as you're preparing for this new chapter in your life. And you go through this dynamic presentation, and it's all stuff that most of it they haven't even thought of. So you're preparing them for success, which means they're totally fine with signing an agreement at the end because you're a professional. Not to mention the actions you're taking, you are acting like a professional. So instead of like a call coming in, I want to go look at a house, and you leaving right away, which the message that sends is that they can dictate your time. You are taking your time back and saying, in a professional manner, saying, come on into the office. I have a 20-minute presentation, and then we'll sit down and map out what we're going to look at for houses. So that's just one of the buyer presentations. We also have a buyer's guide for Florida, a buyer's guide for all the other states. As I mentioned, it's just different forms of agency, which is why the wording and what is promised in these guides is a little bit different. We have a wonderful listing presentation. So if you don't have a listing presentation, we have a really nice listing presentation as well. You can go through and customize this. As I mentioned, we have high performance home presentations. If you're into high performance homes, the listing presentation here is 38 pages. Some of you will say, hey, that's too long for me. I can't do 38 pages. It's all Canva. You can do whatever you want. You can take out pages, you can add pages, you name it. I also want to just show you, this is like some pages that you just really kind of want to go explore as you have some time. We have these cute flyers. One is a flyer for buyers, and one is a flyer for sellers, but it looks like a Monopoly board. So it goes through the steps of buying or selling as a Monopoly board. You would update it with your contact information, etc. We have this trusted vendors. So one of the ways, which we'll talk about later, is we go through our Algorand system, which is the business growth system we use to help agents get to 30 transactions per year. One of the ways to build your sphere of influence is with vendors. Cannot stress this enough, that you must have a trusted vendor list. So we have a nice Canva document in here where you can start organizing the list so that you have something that you can put into your buyer packages and seller packages. We have this little locals guide. It's like a one-page newsletter. This is great for like open houses. Let's just say that this one opens for Boston, but let's just say your market area is Delray Beach, Florida. and your listing is in Delray Beach. This little locals guide is really cute to include at open houses as a handout to people. And it's called the locals guide. It's the top 10 places to explore in Delray Beach. And you have like your favorite farmer's market, your favorite restaurant, your favorite boutique. What's cool about these little 2-pagers is number one, you can make them into one page, like a double print on both sides. But also you can go to the vendors that you're featuring. So you can go to the little coffee shop and say, hey, I featured you in my locals guide of the 10 best places to explore in this marketplace, and I featured your coffee shop. Would it be okay if I leave a small handful of these at the coffee shop for your people? So it's just a interesting and different additional way to be marketing your name in your area. We have a guide to real estate investing. I mentioned this is like if you're working with somebody who's investing in their first property, for example. This is like an 11-page little booklet about some of the things that they'll want to talk about, that they would want to consider when investing in real estate. So again, you kind of have to go through this on your own to pick out some of the best pieces, and we constantly add to it. So come back often. Oh, we have a buyer's guide here, and we have a seller's guide as well. This is just like a let's see. Okay, this is the buyer's guide, and this one is 18 pages. Again, you guys can customize as you like, but let's just present this one and see what we got in here. We have a seller's guide as well. So all meant to be customized to you. And basically, are you ready to purchase a new home? What to do before you begin? Talking to your lender, what not to do before buying. This is all the reasons that we put into our presentation as well. Establishing price range, evaluating locations and communities. So you'll see this little booklet kind of aligns with the presentation we just showed them. So you're going to do your buyer presentation, and then you're going to give them a package that they walk away with some materials in it. So this 18 pages all meant to be customized to you. So really quickly, and then I'm going to have Sergio, the head of our marketing department, come on and talk about some additional marketing pieces. And then I'll come back on to give you a further exploration into the LAER agent services dashboard, because this is the tip of the iceberg. So quickly, I want to go back to writing down. I said at the beginning of today's program that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential. You want to be executing. So what are some of the things you should execute on just off of this first link that we looked at with all these branding pieces? Number one, I believe you should have a listing presentation. That is a no-brainer. If you don't have a listing presentation, that's the number one thing that you must work on. Number two, you need a buyer presentation. We're asking consumers to commit a lot of money to us. We're asking them to choose us over all the other real estate agents. So the only way that people are going to feel very comfortable signing an agreement like that is if you have established your value from the beginning. So the listing presentation and the buyer presentation establish your value. You have to have those. So those are the top two on your list if you don't already have a listing presentation and a buyer presentation. 3, I think you should have a nice package. So that means that I think everybody should have a listing package, a buyer package, and an investor package. These are put into a folder, each one. So your buyer package would have like the buyer guide. Maybe it's got that Monopoly board page on there with the steps to buying a house. You would include a LAER brochure if you're a LAER agent, or a brochure about you or your brokerage in there. But basically, you would just go through and pick out a few things that would apply to buyers. We have a great little booklet in here about understanding buyer agency. I'd throw that in there. So you want like a package. So after your meeting, you can give the consumer a really nice package that they could take with them and continue to explore after your conversation. So I think you should have one that is just for buyers, one for sellers, and one for investors. Not only that, I think you should have them all printed way in advance. I don't believe in waiting until you have an appointment to print out your packages. I believe you should have at least 10 buyer packages, 10 seller packages, and 10 investor packages all created. So I would add that as number 3 on your list. The reason for that is because when your packages are all complete, in your head, you are sending a vibration to the universe that you are open for business, because you don't have lingering things that you would have to work on if somebody wants to buy a house with you. You should put them all into a plastic container tub, and I think you should have them in your car so that if you go to Starbucks and you hear somebody talking about buying or selling a house, instead of handing somebody a business card, which most people do not keep your business card. They lose your business card because it's so tiny. They throw it in the pocket and it gets washed in the laundry. Instead, you hear somebody at Starbucks talking about the fact they want to buy or sell a house. You say, I have something for you, a little gift I want to give you with information that's going to help you on your buying and selling. You run out to your car, you open your tub, and you get a package, a buyer package, seller package, investor package, and you go back in and you hand it to somebody. It is demonstrating your professionalism from the start. It's a shock and awe. Like, people are like, wow, this is a really nice package. I want to call this person. Because even if they don't call you right away, what happens is you begin setting the bar for the industry. So when you have a really nice presentation and you have a nice listing presentation, a nice buyer presentation, and a nice package, buyer package, seller package, investor package, you're setting the bar for the industry, and they're not going to forget it. Even if the consumer does not end up choosing you, they're always going to remember the pieces that you did, and they're always going to be comparing that to each real estate agent they meet. So then the next real estate agent that this person from Starbucks meets runs into another real estate agent at a gym who hands him a business card. They're going to be like, wow, this person only gave me a business card. The other real estate agent gave me this wonderful package of good information I could use for my home purchase. So, and then those are the 3 things that I would say specifically from this segment of our program today is the listing presentation, the buyer presentation, and then having your packages. Those are 3 things I would execute on for your business. So next.
And what a good time of year, Stacey, to
Oh,
tackle this, right?
100%.
You know, I mean, get ready for the spring and start to experiment with Canva, get in there, change this stuff, adopt it so it's your voice and make it work for you. This is the perfect time to do it.
100%. We're going to have Sergio. We still have a lot to cover, so don't go anywhere. But we're going to have Sergio, the head of our marketing department, just talk for a few minutes about some additional marketing pieces available. And then once he's done, I'll pop back over. We still have a lot to cover just in the LAER agent services. So we've only clicked on one button so far in LAER agent services. So with that, I'll hand it over to Sergio.
Okay, thanks, Stacey. I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to cover a couple of programs that we have specifically for our LAER agents. All the marketing that Stacey showed you, even if you're not a LAER agent, you can go in and customize all of these Canva templates. But the next 2 things I'm going to talk about are for LAER agents. just going to go over them very quickly, but these are some really great programs that we make available for our agents. The first one is the LAER marketing bundle. So, as a LAER agent, when your listing goes live on the MLS, our marketing team gets to work. We create a whole marketing bundle that can help you market your home. This includes a listing brochure as well as social media pieces that cover the whole transaction. So from for sale all the way to just sold. These are delivered to our agents within 24 hours of their listing going live on the MLS via email. So I'm going to do a live demo of what that looks like. So the agents will receive, as a LAER agent, you will receive an email that looks just like this. It comes from our LAER Marketing Center, and it comes from our happyagent@laerrealty.com email. You will see this congratulations on your new listing, and then you'll see 3 links. The very bottom link, this download bundle link, this takes you over to a Google Drive folder that has everything you need, and it's all ready to use. So we have a PDF, right? That it's a nice 1-page brochure that you can print out. You can even print it out directly from your browser by going to print. You can also download this. You can send it over to Staples and professionally print it. And then we have our social media pieces. These are all images that you can download. You can open up this link on your phone as well, and then download those images and post directly on social media. So if you want to post on Instagram or Facebook, you're able to click on that link, directly download the image, and then post on social media. With every bundle, we include a LAER brochure, just so you can have it. We include a flyer for our preferred closing partner, both here in New England and in Florida. And then we have a very simple open house sign-in sheet. Stacey will show you some other open house resources you can access on our LAER Agent Services page. Now, the other 2 links are Canva templates. You're going to hear Canva a lot here. It's the main platform that we use, the main design platform that we use here at LAER. It makes it easy for us to share Canva templates or any kind of design with our agents. So we have our brochure template, and as long as you're signed into Canva, it will open up, particularly for the bundles, right? This is not necessarily a template per se, because we're linking directly to your design, right? So any changes that I make here will appear on the link, right? So in this case, because this is a live link they just listed, I'm going to make a copy just so I can show you how you can quickly modify and change your brochure. So if you have a price change down the line, it's very easy. You just go and select the price here. You click twice to bring your cursor into the box, and let's say it went down to $630. And just like that, we've made the change. And let's say you want to change the photos around. You can go to your uploads and then upload new images, right? So if your photographer sent you some photos, you can upload them directly. You can also upload the original high resolution images. I'm just going to upload a sample image here just to show you how easy it is to both upload and to replace these images. Now let's say I want to change the exterior image to this one. Again, I can go to uploads and then click and drag and then place it over the frame, the image frame, and then drop. Now I can do this with any of these. Let's say I want to change over the kitchen photo. Now you'll notice that it'll snap into place when I hover over any of these frames. So sometimes you might drop it in the wrong place. You can always undo and then try it again. As long as you don't let go of the mouse button, it won't snap into place. So let's say I want it in the middle. I'll just drop it there and I'm ready to go. You can modify this however you want. If you want to switch over your photo, if you want to add a different logo, anything like that. And then when you're ready to print out, you can go to share. In this case, I want to share this or download this as a PDF print because I want to send it over to Staples to get it professionally printed. Or if you want to send this out even as an image via email or as a PDF, if you do PDF standard, this produces a smaller file size, so you can send this out via email. And that's how easy it is to make these changes. The other link goes over to your social media pieces. Now, with the social media pieces, in the Google Drive folder, there are two pieces that we don't include. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have an open house piece that includes the date and time. So you have a space here to add your own date and time. And then we have a new price piece, right? So if you do have a price change further down the line, you can very quickly change the price here, go to share, and then download. And so that is the LAER marketing bundle. We have some other resources down here. One of them is to order your 4-page brochure. Now, we don't create these automatically, but you're able to order them through us. This is what it looks like. So if you went out and, if you have a luxury listing or if you have a listing that's, that can benefit from some nice photos or a larger brochure, you can order one from our team. We will create one for you. The order form itself does have space for you to upload either the original files or you can give us the link that your photographer sent. We require at least 16 images and they do need to be high resolution. But you can order those a la carte and then they're delivered to you within 24 hours of you placing the order. All right, so that is our LAER listing bundle. If you're a LAER agent, if you don't see this within 24 hours, let us know. We can make sure that it gets out to you. Okay, so another program that we have for our LAER agents is our LAER Social Media Assistant. So every Monday morning, both via text message and email, we send out 7 to 10 social media pieces for the whole week. So this includes some compelling images as well as suggested captions and hashtags. These are sent as ready to post JPEGs and Canva templates. So let me give you a live demo of what that is. So let me pull up our social media for this week. So it's the beginning of the month. So in this case, we include Facebook covers, both for New England and for our Florida offices. These are our posts here. So the way this is ordered is we have our caption first, and you'll see that our caption, has some really great information. But then down here, we also have a space for you to put in your own contact info if you'd like, and then some suggested hashtags. And then down here we have our image. So you can use these images as is. You can just click on this download button. It will download the image directly to your computer. And again, you can open this email up on your phone, or you can click on the link that you get on your phone via the text message. We include Canva templates for all of these. So if you want to change around some of the pictures, some of the colors, the logos, you're able to do so. So we try to include a variety of subject matter here. It's all real estate related. We have minimal holiday stuff, but it's all mainly real estate related. So, and then we also have some Facebook and Instagram story formatted posts that you can directly download and post on through your phone. So let's do a test post here. Like I mentioned, you can just download these directly to your computer by clicking on this download button. I already did that. Through the email, I can just highlight my suggested caption here. And this is just a test group that I have. And I can show you how quickly I can just upload my photo, can paste in my caption. In this case, for Facebook, they're pretty generous with how much text you can add. For some of these, if you are posting on X or a place that limits the amount of characters, you might have to edit your caption. Like I mentioned before, you can add your contact information. In this case, I'm actually going to remove this. And then we have different suggested caption, just different hashtags. I'm actually going to remove some of these so it looks a little cleaner. But you're free to do whatever you want with these. And once I'm done, I can just click on post, and we have posted on our group here. Again, you can do this with any kind of social media. It doesn't have to be Facebook or Instagram. It can be LinkedIn, it could be Twitter or X. And then these are delivered to you via both text message and email every Monday. So definitely look out for that if you are a LAER agent. And so that does it for me. And thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Sergio. All right. We are going to head back to our LAER agent services. So let me just reshare my screen. Okay, so we are back at lairagentservices.com. The piece that we just went through was the guides, presentations, brochures. You got to see from Sergio a lot of the automated marketing that our team does for our agents, but also we have here a link for the weekly social media assistant. If you're an agent that struggles with knowing or having content to post each week, that's what our social media assistant does. Every Monday, our agents get a text message and an email with all of their social media content for the week. But for any agent, you can actually click on our weekly social media assistant and you can see the most current content on there. So if you're at a different brokerage, you can still see and utilize the content. You'll have to go in and change it to your own brokerage. The only difference is it's not getting texted and emailed to you. Also, for those of you that still have questions on forms, with all the changes that had happened recently with the National Association of Realtors and the form changes, things like that, we did create our own playbook to all the new real estate forms. So this is a booklet that we wrote, and it goes through specifically for Mass, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, and Florida. There's a chapter for each one. You'll see it's about 144 pages, and we have it broken down by state, but basically we give you an overview of all the new forms and samples filled out for you. And then we've embedded into some of the states actually little videos on exactly how to do the transaction. Each state is a little bit different. So if you're struggling with the changes and need some assistance, this playbook to the real estate forms is unlike anything else I've seen out there, only because it breaks down each form for you and then does a little video and then gives you sample ones so you can print them out and look at them while you're filling out the forms. Also, if you're having any trouble at all articulating to a seller why they should pay a buyer agent commission, or articulating to buyers the value of a buyer agent, we put together a list of articles and marketing pieces that help you overcome those objections. And all of these are from outside third-party sources. So there are articles, etc., that you could include in your buyer packages and seller packages, and it's not you saying why it's so important to have a buyer agent in today's market. It's an independent third party saying, here's all the reasons why you'd be crazy not to have a buyer agent. So tons of great information in here, and it's for the most part stuff that we just kind of collated throughout the last several months to give you guys great content to talk about and to include into your packages. All right, let's see. So we're still under marketing, branding, and presentations. We've explored the first 3 houses, but we're going to keep going. Next, we're going to talk about special marketing requests. If you're a LAER agent, we do most of the marketing for you, or the branding packages. When you join, we create a listing package, a listing presentation, buyer presentation, pre-listing package, things like that. But if you're a LAER agent and you ever want special marketing pieces done, we have a phenomenal marketing team. You just click on this button and it's got a form you fill out that goes to our marketing team, and they'll create whatever you want. So maybe you're putting an ad in a magazine, or it could be literally anything. Our team is set up to assist. Open house resources. So a couple things you'll see here on this page. Some of the pieces I love under the open house section are, number 1, we have lots of different feedback surveys and sign-in sheets for the open houses. So these are all customizable. We made them all a little bit different. Like this one is a Canva version of like just a sign-in sheet where you just print out one and a whole bunch of people can fill it out. We also have feedback surveys, especially because we're heading into a market in most areas where houses are not selling quite so quickly and we're seeing price reductions. So, very different than the business we saw a couple of years ago. Now, part of our job as we market real estate is we also have to be collecting feedback in case the house does not sell right away, and we have to ask for a price reduction. So this open house feedback form is great to print these out and have them at your open house, so that as consumers go through, you're not just asking for their name and email so you can follow up with them. You're actually having them provide you value no matter what. In case you have to ask for a price reduction at some point, you start collecting these feedback forms. And by the way, it has right at the bottom the place for their name and email, etc. So that's kind of cool. We also have, if you like to give out little gifts at your open house, we have these little thanks for popping in tags. So these are just like, you would print them out and put them on microwave popcorn. So you customize them with your name. So it just says, hey, thanks for popping into my open house. And basically it's just microwave popcorn, and you'd have them in a little bowl or basket to give as a little gift so that they remember you. We also have kids in open houses, a whole bunch of activity sheets for kids. When doing open houses, we believe it's a good idea to have a little section set up, little table set up for kids, so that there's something to keep the kids busy while parents explore the house, so that the parents aren't distracted when they're trying to view the home. So we made like some little coloring sheets and a word search, and design your own for sale sign, draw your perfect home, help the homeowner get their keys. So just some little packages like activity sheets for the kids are included there. Just lost my page. We'll go back there for a minute. We were under open house resources. One other or two other things I wanted to point out. Oh, there's some really cute little signs here as well. There's a welcome sign, but there's also these little signs to place throughout the house. These are wonderful if you have like a very busy open house. So of course you can have signs like, thank you for showing the house. Please don't forget to leave a card, take off your shoes. Please remember to lock all the doors. Please turn off all the lights. But these are also wonderful if you want to feature something in case you can't walk with each person that comes through because you have a busy open house. There might be some cool areas around the house that you want to feature. So these little signs can be customized to feature anything and hang them around the house. We have a welcome sign here as well for your open house so that you look super professional when anybody comes in. Little place reminding them to sign in. At the very top here, there's also two buttons that I want our LAER agents to know about. One is there's a form here if you need open house coverage. So we have a dynamic at our brokerage, which is at every brokerage, by the way, where we have some agents who just have a ton of listings. They've been on they've been in the business for many, many years, and they accumulate inventory. We also have agents that don't have a lot of listings. And sometimes the agents who have all the listings can't cover their open houses. So we have agents that want to cover those open houses. If you want help covering an open house, you click on this form. It's going to ask you some information about the open house. And then you click the office that you want to send this to, so that it notifies everybody in that office that there's an open house opportunity. And we've never had somebody that needed open house assistance and couldn't get it covered. We have hundreds of agents that want to do the open houses. We have something similar for broker open houses. If you're doing a broker open house, we have this internal broker open house sheet. We want you that if you're doing a broker open house, we want you to let all of our agents know within the market area. That's why at the bottom you can select which LAER offices you want to notify. We want all of the agents from your local market area to come support you. So you put information about your broker open, and that'll notify all of our agents in that marketplace. So that's all under the open house assistance page. Whoops, I keep losing my. All right, so that was open house section. Next, we're going to go to commercial resources. So LAER Realty is primarily a residential real estate brokerage, although we have a lot of agents that like to also work a little bit in commercial real estate. If you're one of those agents, we have a lot of commercial resources for you. First of all, we have a commercial listing presentation booklet that explains some of the value you bring to the table as a commercial real estate agent. So this one we did in the form of a book, and let's see. Yeah, it's about a 25-page booklet about commercial real estate. So that if you are working in commercial real estate, you have a nice guide that you could hand out to people. We also have a commercial offering memorandum. We have some different spreadsheets for evaluating commercial real estate. We have a section of our commercial logos. We also have a commercial group that meets once a month, both in person in Massachusetts, but also by Zoom. So anybody can join the commercial network if you want to talk with other real estate agents who are interested in commercial. You don't have to be a LAER agent to participate in our commercial network. And all you do is click on this. It'll ask you for your name and email address, and you'll get invited to our monthly meetings. And then also we have some commercial real estate courses down here that we highly recommend for agents that are interested in commercial real estate. So that's all under the commercial real estate section. Down here, signs, apparel, and print marketing. Okay. Here we're going to talk about some things that you're going to want to write down, because I already said knowledge is not power, execution is power. And I already have 3 items that I recommended that you write on your list of things that you're going to execute on. There's going to be a few more here. The 3 that we already spoke of are a listing presentation, a buyer presentation, and then packages. So your buyer package, seller package, investor package. We're now under the LAER signs, apparel, business cards, and print marketing. I'm going to actually reorganize this to make the print marketing easier to find on the site. At the top here, you'll see if you're a LAER agent and you want to order signs or sweatshirts or t-shirts or business cards or anything LAER branded, all of these companies at the top have all of that stuff. Where we're going to spend our time, though, is down here at print marketing, because there's some really cool tools that I think every agent should be utilizing in their business. So we're going to add to the list of 3 items that you probably already have on your list so far. This is for everybody, no matter what company you work for. When you build your real estate business, as you grow, you have to become really good at leveraging your time, because your time is all you have. And in my opinion, in most markets, once you get to 10 to $15 million in sales, it becomes increasingly difficult for you to do everything. But even up until then, it's just a lot of little teeny moving parts on each real estate transaction. So you must constantly be looking for ways to leverage the time you have. And what I'm about to show you are a couple different ways to leverage your time. So you have more time, you can collapse time so that you can work on other things for your business. All right, the number one piece for print marketing, and I'm a fan of print marketing, only because less and less agents are investing in print marketing. So that just means there's more opportunity, in my opinion, for the ones that do invest. I do believe in just listed, just sold postcards. So anytime you list a property, send out even 100 to the neighborhood to let the neighbors know that you're listing a property. And anytime you sell a property, you send out 100 of them. Statistically, there's always somebody else in the neighborhood who's getting ready to sell. So very rarely is the house you just listed the only one in the neighborhood that is planning on selling. So your goal is to target that next person that might be wanting to list their home. So what's cool about MLS mailings is the automation piece of it. They specialize in just listed, just sold postcards. But the thing that's a little bit different with MLS mailings is that they hook up to your MLS so that it's all automated. So you sign up once, you put in your photo, your contact information, your logo, and you tell their system, hey, every time I list a property in MLS, I want 100 postcards going out to all the neighbors. Anytime I sell a house in MLS, I want 100 postcards going out to all the neighbors. And then it's just automated, so you don't have to think about it. Because oftentimes what happens is we get so busy with a transaction, we close it, we get it to the table, and then we're on to the next transaction. Well, we need to be utilizing the transactions that we're doing to help us create more business. And one of the ways we can do that is with just listed, just sold postcards. By the way, they're not super expensive. Here's the total price here. A standard postcard for 100 of them. So you're basically looking at $100 to send out 100 postcards. You send 100 when you list the property and 100 when you sell it. That's $200. Or if you want to do the jumbo postcards, that's $127. And I'm pretty sure this includes, just want to make sure, it used to always include postage. I believe this includes postage. I'm gonna have to go back and verify it because it used to have a big thing at the top that made sure people knew it included postage. But the beauty of it is the set it and forget it piece to it. So if you're if you currently are not sending just listed, just sold postcards on every transaction, highly recommend that you do. And the best way to do it, in my opinion, is MLS mailings, only because it has the set it and forget it piece to it. Next thing that I want to share with you is TPMCO, the personal marketing company. By the way, on any of these products, I don't get paid anything. So I'm not, just so you don't think like, oh, she must be getting a kickback from these companies for recommending it. That is not the case. I recommend them because I think they're phenomenal for your business. This one, let's see if I can find, I think it's this one. TPMCO.com is the personal marketing company. And they offer several products, all kinds of marketing resources they also do just listed, just sold, although it's not an automated system for just listed, just sold. They offer postcard marketing. They offer all kinds of stuff. The one that I highly recommend, that it's a little different than any other marketing company offers, is this 21 mailing 5-year campaign. So the National Association of Realtors tells us that we're really bad at following up with people after they close on their homes. So each year, the National Association of Realtor does a survey of home buyers and home sellers. And one of the things that they survey home buyers and sellers for is, how much did you like your real estate agent? Would you use the real estate agent again if you were to buy or sell a house? And statistically, after the closing, a super high number, like 90%, say, yes, I would use my agent again. They were wonderful. I would use my agent again to buy or sell a house. But then if you look at the number of people who actually use the same agent again after 5 years, it's really low. So what is happening? Why do people say they would totally use the person that they worked with to buy or sell another house, but in reality, they very rarely do they use the same agent a second time? A big reason for it is us. We're not following up. As an industry, we're not following up, and it's because we just closed on a transaction and we're on to the next transaction. So it's really important in your business to set up these set it and forget it systems so that you're constantly staying in touch. One of the ways to do that through a 5-year mail campaign is the personal marketing company. So the personal marketing company does this 5-year campaign. Again, you upload your contact info, your name, your logo, your photo, and over a 5-year period, they will send 21 mail pieces to the house of the person who bought the house from you so that they don't forget you. So this is a no-brainer, and it's $48. It's a one-time fee of $48. So a one-time fee of $48, you can ensure that the person is less likely to forget who you are. Now, this should be coupled with other things you're doing. This person, your buyers and sellers should go into your CRM system. You should be following up in other ways as well. But this is a stopgap. This is like a worst case scenario. You forget to put them in your CRM, and so you're not staying in touch. Well, this is the stopgap so that you're still staying in touch. By the way, you get the consumer will get several different mailers. So some of them are a letter, some of them are a magazine, some of them are a postcard. It doesn't matter because they all have your name and your photo. $48 so that the consumer over 5 years. Why is 5 years so important? Because on average, consumers buy their next house in 5 years. So this is a wonderful way to make sure that your buyers and sellers are less likely to forget about you. So that's TPMCO. thepersonalmarketingcompany.com. Huge fan of that. Next, Wise Pelican. The reason I love Wise Pelican, this is a print marketing company as well. So they do tons of templated postcards. They do neighborhood mailings, for example. They do just listed, just sold, free CMA. One of the things that I love about the Wise Pelican that's a little different than some of the other print marketing companies. First, they have a super robust platform of pieces. So you will never have to like create your own piece. They have thousands and thousands of pieces for you to choose from. But more importantly, they have a cool part to the Wise Pelican program that they have a lead capture piece to it. So basically, it has this system that'll put a QR code on your mailer, and it'll say get your free CMA. Scan the QR code to find out the value of your house. And then the consumer puts in the name and email, and the system just emails you. It's not super robust. It's not a CRM platform, but basically it's a lead capture so that it has the QR code on there, the person scans, and now you just get an email saying, so-and-so just scan this for free CMA. So I love the fact, because I think sometimes when we do print marketing, we forget a call to action. Like, hey, I can do a CMA, I work with buyers, I work with sellers, but there's no actual call to action and next step the person must take when they're looking at the postcard. Wise Pelican puts that in as part of their product. So pricing is all different. It depends on how many pieces you order and how often you order from Wise Pelican, but I love that they include the lead capture. Yellow Letters Complete is another one I highly recommend. This is also a little bit different. All these print marketing companies I'm recommended all have these little nuances that are a little different. Yellow Letters Complete was originally used as a company to do little handwritten yellow letters, and like agents that focused on foreclosures and short sales would use them because they would arrive at somebody's mailbox and it looked like somebody dropped off a little yellow lined piece of paper with a handwritten note. So they were very effective for the foreclosure and short sale industries. But then this company went a little step further. They still do the yellow letters for agents that want to focus on that industry, but they took it a step further and they said, hey, we can do handwritten note cards for people. So let's just say we have the holidays approaching and you have a database of 300 people. You could send a handwritten note card to all 300 people. They have two versions of the handwritten note card. They have an AI handwriting, which many agents are perfectly fine with the robot handwriting a note card for them. But also they have another product that they will actually have a human being write your note cards for you. So I'm also a huge fan of this because it puts a little extra personal touch into your note cards and sending out holiday cards or any type of card when in a scalable way. Because of course you can write maybe 50, maybe 100 personal note cards, but could you do 200 or 300? Why do you have to? There's companies out there like Yellow Letters Complete that'll do that for you. They'll actually pay somebody to write the letter for you. So that's Yellow Letters Complete. I'm also a fan of this RSP, data-driven marketing. This was introduced to me by some of our Florida agents. But what I love about it is it creates these targeted farming newsletters. See if I can get a bigger version for you guys to see. They do all kinds of postcards and stuff, but I really love these property reports mailers. So you basically type in a property address. Let's just say you just sold a house somewhere. You type in a property and it gives the person like a 2-page newsletter. It's back and front. And it shows them with a little map all the properties that have sold nearby and what the prices are. And then you flip it over and it gives every single property how much it was listed at, how long it was on the market for, how much it ended up selling for, how many square feet it was. So it's like data. You can, and it's like so little work because it pulls right from the MLS, all the information. So you don't have to go in and like figure out like the information. It does all of it for you. So it's like these little targeted farm. They're super effective in Florida because there's lots of these condo complexes. So everybody wants to know like, oh, what did my neighbor's house sell for? But I think these are great to use in literally any marketplace. So those are all some of my favorite print marketing companies because these print marketing all give you a way to leverage your time so that you can go do more of the important stuff like meeting people and working with buyers and sellers. So that was under signs, apparel, and marketing. Also wanted to go through our ROAR report. I know some of you use this regularly. Once a month, our marketing team creates a newsletter that is meant for you to send out to your sphere of influence. There's 2 types of newsletters in our business. There are e-newsletters and print newsletters. What this is a print newsletter. So if you like having a print newsletter that you send out to your sphere of influence once a month, this is it. Our team creates it for you. When they create it in 2 different formats. One is 8.5 by 11, which is a 4-page newsletter where you staple it at the top. Or the same newsletter, they also do an 11 by 17 format. So you could print on the big paper, fold it, and it's still a 4-page newsletter. Whenever you open the ROAR report, you're going to see these big circles at the top. This is because we want to make sure you know that there's information in here you must customize. So you have to customize certain pieces of this, like your name and phone number in a few spots. And so that's why we put the big red circles on there. But because it's Canva, you just delete the red circle after you've updated the information. So up here, it wants your name and phone number as the real estate agent, and then you just delete the circle. So that's why it looks ugly right when you open it, but it looks really pretty by the time you get all the updating done. Many agents use this just to send out a newsletter to their sphere of influence. These are also great to include in your buyer and seller and investor packages if you have extra. This is also a great way to network with vendors in your marketplace. So I talked a little while ago about having a vendor list. One of the fastest ways to build a sphere of influence is with other people running businesses. So that's how you build your vendor list. Well, here you can feature your vendor in your ROAR report. So each month you could take out any of these articles. So as you go through and you're working on your ROAR report, you can delete any article you want and just replace it with an article about your favorite vendor or an advertisement about your favorite vendor. Some of our agents that mail these, like say you mail 200 of these ROAR reports on a monthly basis, some of our agents partner with like a mortgage company, and the mortgage company helps pay for the postage, for example. And then the ROAR report has in there, the agent will add a section that talks about who that mortgage person is. So these are great. By the way, if you're a LAER agent, you need help customizing, our team is happy to assist. And you can print at any of our 40+ locations to get them out to your customers. Okay, there's also a button here for logos and images. We have under this section, our Google Drive button is broken. I'll have to make sure Sergio knows that. We'll get that fixed today. But basically, that's just a folder of logos. not only for LAER, but like realtor logos, fair housing logos. So we'll send a note in to Sergio to make sure that link is fixed by the end of the afternoon. All right, and then we have a section of seasonal pop-by tags. One of the pieces you'll see in a little while is part of our Algorwin growth system. We have a phenomenal system that helps agents get to 30 transactions a year. The system is called Algorwin. One of the pieces of that program is getting out and visiting your sphere of influence, just a small handful of people each week. But we always say don't go empty-handed. Bring like a little item of value, something cute. So we have a whole bunch of them, these little pop-by tags that we create. They're all in Canva, so you can go in and customize them. But let's just see what we have for the holiday season. Gift wrap is an interesting one if you want to go out and visit your sphere of influence just to say happy holidays. These gift tags are thank you for helping me wrap up a great year of serving you and your referrals. So how cool is that? You put a little tag on it and just go buy like some rolls of gift wrap and drop them off at your clients' houses. So we have a whole bunch. There's like 30 or 40 different little pop-by tags that we've created. They're all meant to be customized to you. So that is all the marketing stuff. That's all marketing, branding, and presentations. I do want to next go through, we have some really cool stuff that I don't want you to miss, specifically regarding our agent growth and development programs. Before I do that, Craig, are you there? Maybe we can do introduce you to Craig, our Chief Sustainability Officer, because he can go through for a few minutes. You'll see as you scroll down, we have a whole house dedicated to sustainability because first of all, we have a lot of agents that are building really successful businesses around high performance homes, working with buyers who care about sustainability, which by the way is most buyers, surveys tell us, and sellers who care about sustainability. But also because it's almost whether or not it really can't be a niche anymore. It's like sustainability is becoming part of the everyday conversations in buying and selling real estate. So Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer, will give you a little presentation on some of the items that can help you conquer this market.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey. That's
Yep.
very well said. Absolutely. You know, my feeling is at this point, every team throughout the United States, but certainly here in Massachusetts and the Northeast and in Florida, needs a green designated agent on their team. I'm going to try to make a case for that as I go through this, the importance of this and how quickly this market is emerging, not only in new construction, but in existing homes like mine. I live in an 1895 Victorian in Melrose, Mass, and we completely decarbonized our home. We did a gut renovation. But you know, I look across the street, and there's a triple decker across the street. Who I know the woman that owns the place. It's a rental property with solar PV on the house as well. Solar panels on the rooftop, right? PV stands for photovoltaics. So we're seeing the stuff all over the place in the built environment, residential, commercial, existing, and new construction. And Stacey, I think we've really established ourselves nationally as a leader in this space, in that LAER Realty Partners is really providing resources, tools. You pointed some of them out. You know, we have buyer presentations for buyers that are, you know, more and more concerned about climate change, climate risk. What's that meaning to homeowners insurance policies, which we're seeing getting a lot of press right now? And how do we, as buyers agents, make that be part of the conversation and be able to guide them through a process of and give them the tools to do their own due diligence about potential climate risk on properties that they're purchasing, and making smart, sound decisions with the best information that we have. So a lot of stuff going on, this is just some of my background, what I've done. Probably what I'm most proud of is that I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer here. And I provide a resource for all of our agents that are listing homes with solar panels on the rooftop. What do I do? Or Craig, I just got a call from one of our Florida agent, Stacey, who's going to be listing a home with solar PV, had no idea where to start. So we're starting that process of education, making sure she knows what's going on, what she's going to need from the seller. I've offered to have a Zoom meeting with her and the seller so we can all be on the same page with this stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I do here as the Chief Sustainability Officer for our company. But you can see I've had great opportunities to work with the National Association of Realtors. They've really taken to heart this intersection of real estate and sustainability and what it means for our members, what it means for our industry, for our trade organization, but most of all, what it means for consumers and how we can better engage those folks. It's led to Stacey, I've had the opportunity, I know you know this, this last year and now extended through 2026 to be on NAR's executive committee, specifically because they have a sustainability subject matter expert there. So that's the role that I play on there. And it's been quite a year to be on the executive committee for NAR, Stacey. There's I don't know if you've heard in the news, but there's been a lot going on in the industry.
Yes, always.
And Fannie and Freddie too, doing a lot of work in the stuff that continues to go in terms of financing of homes with high performance improvements. For instance, with Freddie, obviously their data that they have is unbelievable. They've done an analysis on homeowners with solar PV on the rooftop, whether they own the system or it's a third-party lease. What they have discovered is that there's much less risk for that homeowner to default on their mortgage for whatever reason. There's a lot of different theories about why that could be, but the reality is less risk for default is good for Fannie's and Freddie's investors that are buying homes, right? So a lot of interesting work going on in the background here that we try to produce resources for our agents. 74% of consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. And very few brokerages, but now we're starting to see some more grow, Stace, are actually engaging consumers on this topic. 74% of US consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. So just something to think about why we're making the choices that we're making and what we're doing. This is, tons of articles. I'm following the news all the time, but this is from the Counselors of Real Estate, from NAR, top 10 issues that will impact real estate in 2025. Sustainability is one of those top 10 issues, right? And this means not only making the home more energy efficient or more water efficient, particularly in the Southwest, or perhaps you want to put renewable energy like solar panels on your rooftops. That is all part of this intersection of real estate and sustainability, but also more and more the idea of climate resilience, of home hardening, of making your home better suited to deal with extreme weather events, right? We're seeing this throughout the United States, and again, the impact on insurance policies are a big deal right now in the industry. I'm going to throw a link in the chat so that you can check this out on your own. But what I just threw in there is a link to the Green Building Registry. And in fact, that's a map of Massachusetts. It's an old map because now we have, I don't know, over 203,000 homes of homes in the state with significant green building improvements. So if I were to scroll down on this map to Melrose, for instance, is about 700 homes of our 6,000 homes here in our little community that have significant green building improvements, so over 10% of the marketplace, right? And you can scroll down. For instance, I can scroll down to the woman's home across the street, click on her address, and see the size of the system, a 6.8 kilowatt solar PV system. It's producing an estimated 9,000 kilowatt hours of energy annually the year it was installed in 2017, whatever it may be. And who owns the system? Is it owned by the homeowner, or is it owned by a third party? Has the homeowner entered into a lease or a power purchase agreement? And all of this information is available online. Why is that important? Well, those 4 items that I just said are in MLS PIN, the predominant MLS here in Massachusetts, for listing a home with solar PV. We need to enter the year it was installed. We need to enter the size of the system. We need to enter an estimated output of that system over the last 12 months, estimated or actual. And we need to enter who owns the system, right? So those are 4 specific fields that we need to make sure are filled in for bettering the marketplace, right? We need information on homes that have sold with solar PV. But this isn't only solar PV, it's homes with HERS scores. It's just a great tool. So just, feel free to jump into that URL I just sent you and plug in, the city or town that you work in or you live in, and just see what pops up. You might be surprised at how many homes with high performance improvements there are. This is the New Hampshire map. And here's Florida. Florida has more homes with significant green building improvements than even Massachusetts does. And I have an opportunity to teach the green designation across the United States. And this is the first place that I go to when I look to teach in a state that I've never had a chance to work in before. I go to the Green Building Registry and take a look at the number of homes that are out there that have significant green building improvements. And it's an effective tool for engaging the students in the class, because they realize, wow, there's a real there, and there's a little bit more that I need to know than I thought I needed to know about these homes with these high performance improvements, green improvements on them. So great tool, great resource. Massachusetts, of course, you probably have heard, well, certainly if you're in new construction, you've heard that the state building code has been updated over the last year. And it is arguably the most aggressive green building code in the United States of America, particularly in the specialized stretch code communities, which there's about 40 of those in and around Greater Boston. So if you're working in new construction, hopefully you know what a HERS score is, but Passive House, this green building certification, now is a pathway for builders to be able to meet the very strict energy requirements for the home. And, we can argue whether or not Massachusetts, idea of making some of the most rigorous building codes in the country is a smart idea or not. It doesn't really matter. What we've got to do as listing agents, particularly if we're working with builders, is to be able to list those homes, market those homes appropriately, value them appropriately, and make sure that the green building improvements are part of that process. We do a lot of education at LAER and make sure that you're aware of educational opportunities. As I said, the National Association of Realtors Green Designation is the most rigorous option that we have in the industry for you to get fully up to speed on everything that's going on in this rapidly emerging green building space. The green designation is a full 2-day class. We're actively in the process of rewriting it. We get funded every 3 years to rewrite the green designation. I'm on the team that does that rewrite, and I'm really excited about this next version of the green designation. Green Day 1 is really focused on building science, on new technologies, on building envelopes, on air tightness, on things like heat pumps and solar PVs and geothermal systems, right? All of the induction cooktops, all of the new technologies that are out there that you've heard about, might have some vague idea about, but we really do a deep dive on the science of why these work, how they work, and how much more efficient they are, right? Insulation, building envelopes, air sealing, obviously all involved in this as well. And then day 2 is about proper marketing of these homes and valuation of these homes. And believe it or not, there is a different valuation mechanism. A good example of that is homes with solar PV, photovoltaics on the rooftop, like the one you see here on the right. We can use an income approach if the property owner owns the system and is conveying an owned system to the buyer. We can use an income approach to look at the contributory value for the remaining life of the system that would be added to an appraisal if you've demanded a qualified appraiser. We can't pick a specific appraiser anymore, but we can demand a qualified one. And we have a bunch of them here in this state that have gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program that the Appraisal Institute offers. On top of that, we're actively trying to track our home sales annually now with significant green building improvements in them. So when you go to fill in your check request at LAER, and we know that this is a place that all agents like to go to because they typically like to get paid after the closing. So they have to fill out this check request. And I just want to highlight on that check request, we have some specific spots for you to fill in if the home has had any kind of significant green building improvements on it, so we can start to track those sales. On the left, there are some typical high-performance home features that we see here throughout the country, but that comes from MLS PIN. And then in the middle section under the storm protection, that comes from the Beaches MLS in Florida that our agents in Florida use. And you can see that storm protection or home hardening or resilient building improvements all fits into the same category as that storm protection stuff. So please, when you're filling out your check request, if you're a LAER agent and your home has any of these features, please fill them in. And if it has a green feature that's not in the checkbox here, because there are 50 shades of green, right? Not everything that we have here is covered here. You can actually write something in over on the right here about a green building improvement that we may have missed. This is actually from the presentations that we have for high performance agents on LAER Agent Resources. So, talking about risk, we're seeing that buyers throughout the country are becoming more and more aware of climate risk. So how do we help a buyer understand that we have resources that they can use, that we can send them to be able to do their due diligence on climate risk for properties that they're buying, and that we have a basic understanding of that vulnerability, but more importantly, we're the source of the source. We have the resources so that we can have an intelligent conversation about climate risk, not only here, but also in the future, thinking about future climate risk as well and climate vulnerability. This is also on our listing and buyer presentation for high performance agents, the agents that have the green designation. We can, in fact, demand as a listing agent a qualified appraiser. Now, we know we can't pick a specific appraiser anymore, but I can, if I'm listing a home with significant high performance improvements, demand a qualified appraiser. And what is a qualified appraiser? It's an appraiser that's gone through that Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program that the Appraisal Institute offers. There's also, on the right, you can see the Appraisal Institute's Green Residential and Energy Efficient Addendum. That's a 5-page addendum to the URAR, the Uniform Residential Appraisal Report, that qualified appraisers would use to make a case to the bank underwriter about the additional contributory value of a home with these high performance features. So despite what you hear in the marketplace, this stuff is definitely recognized in the marketplace and is recognized by appraisers as well. This is I love this slide. This was Stacey's idea. I love this idea. But the risk of hiring any agent rather than an agent that's specifically knowledgeable and competent in this high performance home space, whether it's a listing or a buyer, is just a really great way to to thread the work that we've done to become competent in these homes. We have gained a lot of attention because we have been at the forefront of putting things in place for you as real estate agents to be able to serve your clients appropriately. So we've gotten a lot of media attention about that. And I just want to highlight this to end with. This is Article 11 of our Code of Ethics. This is becoming a more and more hot topic, but you can see Article 11 talks about competence specifically for the types of buildings that we deliver to the marketplace and our responsibility as listing agents for delivering those homes. And look, in the first two items of the Code of Ethics, it says be knowledgeable about the type of property being valued and have access to the information and resources necessary to formulate an accurate opinion. I've already said there's a different valuation process for these homes with significant high performance improvements. You've seen some of the tools that are out there in the marketplace that we use to present that value to appraisers, and that they can then present that value to the bank underwriters as well to reflect accurate valuation of homes with these significant improvements in them. And this is fiduciary responsibility. This is from Greb's website, the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. Again, that idea of competence comes up. So, my thing has always been, Stace, that every team at this point in the state of Massachusetts, if they're listing these homes with high performance features on them, really need an agent on their team that can help guide, accurately market and value those homes and take advantage of the resources that are out there. I'll throw in a link to the Inflation Reduction Act as well. There's great tax incentives that are out there. I mean, if you've had a great year as an independent contractor and you want to lower your tax burden, put a green building improvement on your home. And I'll throw a little link in from Rewiring America that shows you some of the tax incentives that are available that you can take to lower your tax burden as a real estate agent. And hopefully you would be passing that on to your buyers and clients and let them know about these incredible incentives that are available from the federal government right now. NAR strategic plan obviously involved in climate and sustainability, and we have a ton of resources out there as well. So with that, I'll hand that back over to you, Stacey, and I'll put the Rewiring America little link.
All right. Awesome stuff. And yes, I agree that if you are working on a listing or working with a buyer who is interested in high performance homes, I feel you should be working with somebody if you don't have a green designation, because one of the things the last 12 months has created is I feel like the NAR lawsuits have only created more lawsuits. So consumers are extremely litigious right now. Not all consumers, of course, but many consumers are super litigious, and they're looking for a reason why to sue their agent, their brokerage. And specifically around sustainability, one thing that's scary is that when it comes to, for example, listing a home, we know that some high performance features do add value to the property. Well, what happens if you're just listing a property and comparing it to all of the other listings nearby, not taking into consideration the high performance features such as owned solar panels? You're potentially undervaluing the property. So there is a great deal of liability out there. The easy thing to do is just go take a green designation course so that you have an understanding of what the potential issues are so that you can see when you need help instead of just treating high performance homes like every other property. So with
Yeah, and I'll
that,
be teaching it next for Greater
Ooh.
Boston Association of Realtors, June 17th and 18th. So put
Nice.
that on your calendar. And if you want to go to Alaska, I'm teaching in Alaska February 11th and 12th too, Stacey. So
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we are going to head back to the LAER Agent Services page. It's laeragentservices.com. Once again, this is not password protected, so you can go check it out at any time. We're going to head down to agent growth and development for a few minutes because there's a lot of stuff on here that you'll want to see. First of all, under classes, meeting, and coaching, there's all kinds of stuff on here, but the most important, I would say, is the YouTube training channel. So all of, or most of our training is available to any real estate agent from any real estate brokerage. And as you can see, we have a few hundred videos on here and we add to it all the time. So I highly suggest that everybody head over to youtube.com/LAER training. I would add this to your list of things to do if you're not already subscribed, and subscribe to it, because basically we offer tons of training on all kinds of stuff, from social media to ChatGPT, how to use Canva, calendar mastery, change your mind, change your life. There's so much content. So you can, through our LAER agent services, you can always go check out our upcoming classes. You can go look at our training calendar. But if you subscribe to our YouTube station, you'll never miss a class, because even if you can't take the live version of the class, the system will just send you a little notification every time we add a new training class, which is a couple times per week. So I would definitely sign up for the YouTube YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube station. Also, I wanted to point out the new agent resource center. If you're a newer agent, we have all these little booklets and guides and tutorials for you. For example, like we wrote our own booklet on home inspections. This is like a 51-page booklet, everything to think about in a home inspection. So these are like just materials that we use in our training classes, etc. There's a real estate agent's guide to understanding lead paint, procuring cause best practices, antitrust best practices, Connecticut law best practices. So we created these little booklets to make your life easier. Also, we have little tutorials on how to fill out the forms for the different states. So also, let's see. Many of you have had the chance to participate in our Finish Strong program. But basically what the Finish Strong program is, we partnered with Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer wrote a wonderful book called The 7 Levels of Communication. And he has been coaching agents with us for the last several months, 5 months. And this still is continuing. So you can join us every Monday at 10:30. But if you go to this link, you can go watch all of the classes, because basically we outlined the entire program. So you can start from the very beginning, from episode 1, click on it, and we go through, not only can you watch the program, but then we list out what the homework is for that week. And this is an indispensable program if you're doing any client appreciation events, which you should be. So everybody should incorporate into their real estate business client appreciation programs. And this program is the blueprint to client appreciation events. If you're an agent that needs coaching, we also have a link, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Let's see. We'll go backwards for a second. Okay, the next box under here is business plans and growth systems. So there's all kinds of different business plans out there for real estate agents. And by the way, this is the best time of year to be working on your plan as to what are you going to be focusing on for 2025. So we have 3 different forms of business planning materials for real estate agents, and most of them are unlike anything you've ever seen. The big one is our Algorand system. This system has been a game changer to many agents. It's our Algorand business growth system, and basically you can go download the workbook. Anybody can download it. If you're a LAER agent, we send it as part of your welcome box. But you can download the workbook. It's basically a 100-page workbook with step-by-step instructions on what to do on each day to prepare yourself for 30 transactions a year. The Algorand system is based on what I spoke of earlier, the checklist manifesto, that you can 100% checklist your way to success. And basically, it gives you 7 checklists: a yearly checklist, monthly checklist, a weekly checklist, and then a checklist for new sellers, new buyers, a new listing, and people appreciation events. You learn 7 checklists, and none of them are very long. The longest checklist has 12 items, and that is the checklist that you do once a year to prepare yourself for success. And then the system helps you track your results. So agents that have completed this system are closing, even in their first year in business, 20 plus transactions a year. By the way, I'm going to go back to the other page for a minute, the LAER coaching. If you need coaching on the Algorand system, we also offer that. Just click on the coaching tab, and we this summer switched our entire coaching program, so it is now all based on the Algorand program. So if you need coaching, you sign up here. You'll be assigned to a coach who works with you over a 6-month period with 2 monthly coaching calls, and their job is to help you get to your 30 transactions a year by helping you overcome limiting beliefs and figuring out what you have to do to complete the Algorand system. So there is 100% Algorand is all about the algorithm for success in real estate. We wrote the manual ourselves, and it is based on studying the habits and systems and protocols of high-performing real estate agents. So that's the Algorand system. If you like a more traditional real estate business plan, we also have one of those. These you can get if you go Google real estate business plan, you'll find something similar to this. But this is like a 40-page booklet that helps you evaluate where your transactions came from last year and focus on what was your success rate, and moving forward, how can you increase success for next year and get to your goal. This booklet is really helpful, especially for teams. I think it's great because you can print out this booklet and for a team meeting, and everybody together sits and goes through their business plan. They kind of write up everything together. The third is our simple plan. This is another type of business plan that we wrote on our own. And basically the idea of this plan, it's a little different than a traditional business plan. What the simple plan is it's a focus on your life 1 year from now. So if you want to make a huge change in your business, you want to do significantly more than what you're used to. Because by the way, most of you will always continue to close within a 10% variance of where you are right now. So in other words, an agent that does $3 million in sales volume this year will do pretty close to $3 million in sales next year, and they will do the same amount the following year. So if you want to have a rapid increase in results, then you have to become a different version of yourself. So this is a very unique type of business plan because it focuses on what is the goal, and then who is the person you need to become to become the person that reaches the goal. because you do have to become the different version of yourself. So it helps you look at like the habits of the person you are today, for example, as compared to the habits of the person you need to become in order to have different results than what you have had up until this moment. So we got a few different, we also have an IPA checklist. Simple, it's an income producing activities checklist. It's just a checklist that when you have slow times in your business and you're like, okay, I have nothing to do today, the IPA checklist gives you a list of things to go work on. By the way, if you're using the Algorand system, you'll always have something to be working on for your business. All of this is under the business planning tools section of LAER Agent Services. So let's go back down. We were under agent growth systems. We also, if you're a LAER, well, anybody actually can go to our continuing ed. We do have a partnership with the CE shop for continuing ed. I love the CE shop because if you're licensed in multiple states like I am, I'm in 5 or 6 different states, I have my license. The CE shop keeps all of your CE courses in one place and keeps all of your certificates nice and organized. But also what's nice about it is you can take one class that potentially applies to all the licenses. So once you finish the class, it'll say, I think they charge you an extra $10 for each certificate you want for each state. But it's wonderful because you take one class and you could say, okay, now I need that same certificate for Maine. I need the same certificate for New Hampshire, things like that. Okay, and down here, we have a couple other things under the agent toolbox. First of all, we have a house here with technology tools. At the top, we have all the pieces of the LAER Tech Bundle. I'm going to have Ashley give you a quick overview of Real Scout because of all the pieces of the tech bundle. Real Scout is the coolest piece, although if you're a member of our tech bundle, we're in the process of rolling out another really cool platform called Fellow. So by next boot camp, hopefully we will have some training put together on the Fellow, but it's basically AI and it kind of pulls it works with your current database and finds the people most likely to sell. It's a really cool platform. Under here, we have some cool AI tools for you. Number one, and these are open to any agent at any firm. You don't have to be a LAER agent. One is a listing description generator. So here you just click on this form. It's going to ask you some questions about your upcoming listing. You fill this out. And within 10 seconds, the system's going to email you a really good listing description for your new listing. It emails it to you. You have to go through and double check it, make sure there's no fair housing violations within it because AI is not perfect. So you definitely have to double check it. They also have an agent bio generator. One of the pieces of the Algorand program is we stress that one of the items on the checklist for your yearly checklist is to make sure you have a really good bio when somebody Googles your name. So on your office website, your personal website, anywhere where your name pops up, you should have a really good bio because the first thing somebody's going to do when they're introduced to a stranger, including a real estate agent who is a stranger, is they're going to Google you. So make sure you have a super professional agent bio. So we make it very easy for you to create one. And all of that is under the technology tools and go to agent bio generator. It emails it to you. So it's yours. We don't have it. We don't put it anywhere. It's your bio. If you want us to update your bio on the LAER website, then you would cut and paste the email that you get or forward us the email that you receive from our bio generator and say, hey, can you put this as my bio on my LAER website? Let's see. There's so many tools here, and unfortunately, we could use another 3 hours that we don't have. But first of all, Xiaomi. This is a cool app. It's like the Uber of real estate. So the Xiaomi app is, let's just say you have an open house, or let's say that you have an open house tomorrow, but you also have somebody that wants to go look at a property at the same exact time. Xiaomi is on-demand showing agents. You could pay an agent to go show you the property, or to go show your customer the property so that you don't have to do it. Basically, you put out what you're willing to pay. Don't worry, the real estate agent can't steal your customer because they sign all kinds of disclosures that that customer is not theirs. They're getting paid for a service just to open doors. Maybe you need somebody to cover a showing. Maybe you need somebody to cover an open house. Xiaomi has helped many agents get coverage when they can't be in two places at once. I'm not going to go through all these. Exposio is another really cool technology for photography. I'm a huge fan of professional photography on every listing, because every time you list a property, you are showcasing all of your skills for the next possible seller. So it is like a dress rehearsal. Every time you get a new listing, even if it's a lower price property, it's a $200,000 condo. This is a dress rehearsal for the customers that are coming in to look at that property. So I think you should do professional photography on everything. I hate iPhone photos. However, if you must use iPhone photos, this is a cool app that will make your photos look nicer than an iPhone photo. It looks more like a professional photo. It's still not a professional photo. So my first preference is go get professional photos. My second preference is, if you're not going to do professional photos, then use Exposio. It'll re-expose all of the photos you took on your phone and make them look more professional. They charge about $1 a photo. So basically you upload all the photos you took into Exposio, and then it shows you what their version will look like if you purchase them. And then it'll say, then you can download for $1 each the ones that you want to purchase. So with that, one of the things I want to have Ashley go over with you before we move out of out of the toolbox section is one of the products that we support. One of our technology partners is Real Scout. So one of the things agents ask when they join a brokerage is, are there any monthly technology fees to be with the company? At LAER, we have an optional $39 per month tech fee. You don't have to, if you're a LAER agent, you don't have to opt into the tech bundle, but you get 3 products with that tech bundle. One is Boston Logic, which is a website. One is Isact, which is a CRM. By the way, our agents in January will then have the opportunity to pick either Isaac or Fellow for an alternative CRM. And then the third part is Real Scout. Real Scout is the most important of all of them, because Real Scout is how you keep people off of Zillow. If your consumers are shopping for real estate on Zillow, then I promise you, you're losing business to Zillow, because your person is on Zillow searching for real estate, not even a good search. And then Zillow is selling their information. So another real estate agent is reaching out to them. So our answer to that is Real Scout, which is a property search portal that you would use. It's like being your own Zillow. So I wanted to have Ashley come on and just give you guys a brief demo on how this can be a game changer for your business.
Hello, thank you, Stacey. So as you've gone over, why not use the Zillow? They sell your information like Realtor.com, Trulia, Movado. But what I personally like about Real Scout is that you can set up your clients on a search, and then once they accept the terms of the search and everything, they can create their own search as and still see everything that's going on in your dashboard. So if you are a LAER agent and you do have the tech bundle, I do one-on-ones, and that is something that we can go over in the one-on-ones. I also go over that in my lunch and learn. So for boot camp, what I've done is I have created just a quick little 10-step guide to get Real Scout started, how to set up a search, the different ways you can set up a search. So the first thing I like to say is that there is an app, right? There's an app. There's an app for that. So there are two different versions of the Real Scout app. So one of them is an agent app is always going to have this black background with the White House and the Pro. Our client version is going to have the opposite. So it's going to be a white background with a black house, and it's not going to have the word Pro on it. Another way to know if you have the correct app is the Real Scout agent dashboard is the one for agents. If you're downloading the one that just says Real Scout home search, that's the client or consumer version. It may look a little different depending upon if you have an Android versus an Apple versus Motorola versus I don't know what other phones are out there. So it could look a little different, but those are the two apps and how to tell them apart. So I always start with that, because if I'm on the road with clients and a house comes up or they get matched a house, I'll get notified and I can kind of see with even having to be in MLS.
You keep freezing, by the way, Ashley.
With the Zillow, but say that again.
You keep freezing. I think you might have bad internet.
Oh, I don't know. I'm in the Chelmsford office and it's usually pretty good. So I don't know why it's
Oh, we'll try for a
better.
couple minutes, but it keeps freezing. So you're like
Why is
breaking up.
my internet so slow? Hang on. Okay, hang on a
Yep.
let me. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I apologize for that. All right. So. Okay. So the second in Real Scout, you have two unique different sign up links or different ways that you can generate leads, right? So the first link is going to be a client search page. So you can put this in your emails. You could put it in Instagram posts, social media posts. If you do TikTok or YouTube videos, you can post this link in any of those videos. And this link is unique to each agent. So it's going to have their name.realscout.com. That will allow the client to create their own search. And then the second unique link that you get is an onboarding link. So if you have somebody, so let's say you have Joe, right? And Joe knows Jane and Jane's talking to Joe about buying houses. Joe can say, okay, Jane, Ashley's an agent, but let me share this onboarding link with you. So she can sign up and get information and put her information in there, and it would go to my Real Scout platform, and then I can onboard her and reach out to her and get her as a client as well. So that's two different ways that you can use your Real Scout to generate leads. The next thing that I go over is, okay, more than MLS, right? What if I have one MLS? How do I know if I'm in the correct MLS? So I call this verifying your MLS. So once you create a listing alert or market activity alert or home value alert, it's going to see a data feed, right? Or a property class. So if you have more than one MLS, it's going to say cross MLS search. That means it's going to search all of your MLSs that are in your Real Scout. So for me, it would be Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, because I have those 3 licenses. If you just have one MLS, great. It's just gonna display that one MLS, and then you can click customize listen alert or invite client. If you click on customize listen alert, it's gonna ask you which MLS do you want if you have multiple MLSs, such as down below. So I think I was doing this for a client for New Hampshire. New Hampshire breaks theirs down into residential, commercial sales, rentals, lands. So it's all broken down, whereas in Maine and Massachusetts, it's all clumped together. The next step is, how do we add a client? Super simple. There's just this add a client button / alert button up top. The next thing it would ask is for their email, their first name, their last name. I always put the source. So if it's a realtor.com lead, if it's a Veterans United lead, if it's an SOI, or if it's a referral from somebody, right? I put that in there. I also put their last name in there. Phone numbers are completely optional. And then also what Real Scout has recently come out with is this ability on the bottom to select a tag. So you can tag them as a buyer, a seller, buyer and seller, or other. So Real Scout rolled that out, I think, a couple months ago. The next thing is, how do you create a search? Same thing as MLS, you just go through all of the fields, put in the minimum price, the maximum price. And then once you have all of your criteria fields selected, what you would do is you would click the save button, and then you would select the client. You can name the search if you want. The alert schedule, I always have the alert schedule set as ASAP. So anytime something comes on, I'm getting an email. And what I do is I also click send copy to my, so any email that I'm getting, I'm also having to log less what houses my clients are matched to. The next thing is that there's different ways to search. So you could draw your own outline, you could draw a polygon, you could draw a rectangle, but then let's say you had somebody who worked in the medical field, right? And they need to be within, say, 5 miles from the hospital, right? You could draw a radius and be 5 miles from the hospital that they work at. And then anything within their criteria within that radii will populate in their search. You can also search by a school district, right? You can't do that in MLS. You can search by a specific school name. So if you had a child who you wanted to go to a specific high school, such as Littleton High School, right? You could put that in there for the school. So anything within that school boundary line within their criteria that you selected will populate. You can also search by zip code, county, condo association name, development, or subdivision. The next thing is, okay, so let's say a client increases their price. How do I update their price in their search? Super simple. Over on the left side, there's a navigation panel. You would just click on contacts. You would then click on the client that you wanted to. So you would click on Ashley in this instant. And then you would just click, so if it was a list alert or market activity alert, you would just click edit or edit here. Once you click that edit, it's gonna bring up filters that the search criteria again. And if you're updating the price, you would just update the price. If you're updating the towns, you would just update the towns. Now, once you do this, you're gonna save it, and it's gonna pop up with a little box that asks you, do you want to send any new listens to your clients? You can send it now, or you can hand pick them and then send them to your clients yourself. I always do send now, and then that way they'll see what new matches they have gotten with their updated criteria, and then they can select the ones that they like or don't like, and they can let me know. But what I also like about Real Scout is that it's more client and consumer interactive. So instead of just knowing, okay, Stacey liked 123 Main Street or didn't like it. Okay, well, what did she like? What didn't she like? Real Scout on the consumer side, it allows them to heart and thumbs up and thumbs down certain amenities and certain features, and also rate the property on 1 to 5 stars. So I use that for my clients. If they rate it higher than a 3, I know it's something that we're probably going to go and see at some point. The next thing is an auto nurture feature. So I have this set up for all of my clients. And it just makes sure that your leads and your referrals and clients are getting relevant real estate information. So let's say you have a client who you have set up for a 3-bed, 2-bath search, but they start looking on their own for 3-bed, 1-bath searches. This automated nurture campaign will then start a drip campaign, and it'll start 3-bed, 1-bath houses as well, because that's what the system's seeing. So as long as you have this enabled, they're still going to get relevant listings. It's going to match what they're looking at, even if it's a little different than what you set them up on in their search criteria. The next thing is market activity alerts, right? So what you can use for buyers, you can use for sellers, vice versa. So this is just a map that will show you how many active buyers there have been in a specific area. You can do a minimum price, maximum price, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, and 365 days. So once you have all of that information, it'll populate a map that looks like this. And if you want a specific area, you can zone in on the map and you can draw your own circle as well, or your own shape. So it'll show you where the colors are. I call this the heat index map, or the heat map, are all of the top viewed listings or the relative popular listings, right? And then the further down this report, it shows you on a specific day how many buyers there were, what the top viewed listings are. And this is data just gathered from the Real Scout platform. Again, it's kind of hard to gather data from the MLS to put in here. So these numbers are just from Real Scout. It also will give you anything that's been recently sold and anything that's been recently listed or recently updated as well. So what I use this for my buyers is, okay, 123 Main Street is a top viewed property. We might structure our offer differently, right? Instead of a 30-day close, we might see if the lender can close in 3 weeks, right? So just strategies like that. And I actually did a strategy like that for a closing that I had last week with long-term clients that I had. So it does work. And then on the flip side, I use it for sellers when I go to listing presentation and I have a feeling they might be up here on price, but the market is showing this. I give them this, and what I do is the day of, I will run a report right before I have to leave, and I will show them, you know, today, this is what the market's showing. This is how many buyers you have had. You know, 123 Main Street is similar to 456 Main Street, right? So you are showing them real-time data, not just the numbers. You're also showing them what's actually happening in their neighborhood, in their area. And I find that sellers like seeing this evidence, not just the numbers in the CMA. So I've started to include that in my listing presentations as well. And then the last thing is, why is it better than Zillow or another search website? It's above average experience for the clients, new property alerts, property search emails. There's a great mobile app. It integrates with different lead platforms such as realtor.com. I think Boomtown's on there. But if you have something else and you have Zapier forms, you can link the two. So there's lots of integration that you can do. And then again, just a little bit about Zillow and why Real Scout is better than Zillow. So with that, I'm gonna hand it back over to Stacey.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ashley. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for so much time today. I'm going to wrap up. We have a lot of stuff that we didn't even get to today. That's why people always say, do you think it will take the full 3 hours? And we've never had it go less than 3 hours because there's just so much content to cover in such a short amount of time. But a couple other things I really wanted to point out before we leave today is, first of all, this box down here really should be at the top because it's a box about agent safety. So if you click on that page, highly recommend everybody download this. You can click the PDF right under the image. It is our agent safety guide. And it's just a short booklet on some of the things you can do to maintain your safety as a real estate agent. As well, we have included in here some links to some cool stuff that can help you maintain your safety. So you'll find, for example, a link to Invisaware, which is beautiful jewelry, keychains, etc., that you can buy that have alarm systems built in. Safety is key. So you can go visit this at laerrealty.com/safety. So this gives you a pretty good overview of the LAER Agent Services dashboard. As you will recall from the beginning of today's program, we started off with the LAER Program and Services Guide, and we didn't even get through the first section of it. So I'm going to go to where we left off. We started with marketing and branding, and the first thing we went to explore is the laeragentservices.com. And that's where we spent most of our program today. You got to hear from Sergio talking about some of the done for you marketing support. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Boost by HomeSpotter. At LAER, we automatically pay for 7 days of advertising on Facebook, Instagram, and places that allow for pay-per-click advertising for every new listing. So some of you as LAER agents will get notifications that you just received a new lead. These are typically from Boost. What I always say, put all of those people into your CRM marketing campaign so you're staying in touch with them. Typically, they're cold leads. So usually they're not somebody that's ready to buy a house, but you never know. So you got to stay in touch with everybody. Most importantly, you should be talking about the Boost by HomeSpotter marketing when you are at a listing presentation. You got to hear from Sergio about our Done For You weekly social media assistant. If you are not a LAER agent, I also showed you a link at laeragentservices.com where you can go get this. LAER agents will receive an email and a text message every Monday with all of your social media pieces for the week. But also you can go visit LAER Agent Services under the social media assistant to get the most recent posts. We do have 2 great magazines as well, print magazines. These are for LAER agents to include in listing and buyer packages. A little bit on technology. So we went through a whole bunch of the technology resources today. LAER agents get a full complimentary bundle of technology. Also, I mentioned that we do have an optional $39 per month tech bundle for LAER agents. And that tech bundle includes 3 products. Isact, which is a set it and forget it marketing CRM system. It sends out a monthly newsletter to everybody you put into your CRM. The $39 a month also includes a Boston Logic agent website. And third, Real Scout. The most powerful part of the $39 a month tech bundle is Real Scout. By the way, if you're not a LAER agent, you can purchase any of these for $39 each. We get a bulk discount because we have a lot of agents signed up for all of the products. Third section of this booklet was career development, but don't worry, we went through most of this back at the LAER Agent Services. I talked about our Algorwin business growth system. As a reminder, when you're going through this program guide, you can click on any of the underlines. Those are hyperlinks. So you can actually go download our Algorwin business growth system. It's a booklet/workbook that coaches you step by step to get to 30 transactions per year. I talked a little bit about our coaching program. If you click on the link down here, it takes you to laerrealty.com/LAER coaching for those of you who want to get coached in the Algorwin system. We've visited a lot of these links because all of these links are also embedded over at the LAER Agent Services page. One of the things we're proud of is we do a lot of training at our company. Not only do we have our own training team, but we also bring in some of the best outsiders. Last year, we partnered with Tom Ferry for some training. This year, we partnered with Michael Mayer, who wrote the 7 Levels of Communication, who's been doing a 6-month coaching program every Monday for our agents. The final portion of this book is just additional agent support systems. Our belief about the real estate industry is that you are the brand. You as the individual agent are the brand. 20 years ago, it was very different. 20 years ago, people would go work for a brokerage because the brokerage was the brand and the consumer was calling the brokerage for business. That is so rare now. In the old days, the consumer was relying on the yellow pages because they didn't have access to all of their friends and family on social media to get recommendations. They didn't have Google to go Google a company. So in the old days, the consumer was relying heavily on the yellow pages to find a brokerage. And the brokerages that could afford the most advertising within the yellow pages got the most phone calls, and then those got funneled to real estate agents. It's very different today. Now the brand is the real estate agent. You are the brand. And what a great real estate brokerage does is support great real estate agents. So we make no mistake that you are the brand and it's our job to support you. So with that, we have a phenomenal support team, over 50 staff members. They're called our Happy Agent team. If you're a LAER agent, I can't stress enough, anytime you need anything, our staff is available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Email happyagent@laerrealty.com. And when your request comes in, it gets assigned to the staff member who is best suited to answer your question quickly and knowledgeably. We ask that all requests for support go through the Happy Agent system because we don't want it to get lost. We don't want you to go email a staff member directly because then we don't know that you got taken care of. It's our job to make sure you always get the support you need. We have some other cool technology, deposit link, e-checks. There's a great page in this booklet of all the companies that generate leads for real estate agents. On the left side, it's all referral fee-based lead platforms. On the right side, it's subscription-based lead platforms. We're a huge fan of the referral fee-based lead platforms. Why not go sign up for every single one of these? And they are expensive. Many of them take like a 40% referral now, but the value is you have somebody to market to. You're not just marketing to the one person. They have friends and family who, if their friends and family buy real estate from you, there's no type of referral fee. So go check out, each of these is live links to the referral fee-based lead platforms. Not a huge fan of subscription-based lead platforms like Zillow, where you pay a big monthly fee and hope that you get leads, because you could pay for a really long time without converting anything. So referral fee is the way to go. It's expensive, but it gives you people to put into your database to build your business. We also have a phenomenal in-house transaction coordinating team. This also talks about our sustainability team, why we are proudly realtors. We highly believe in the realtor organization. I believe we wouldn't even have an industry if we didn't have the realtor organization, which is why we support that organization. So last but not least, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us today. Please, after you get off the call, spend 5 minutes writing out the list of things you're going to execute on. A listing presentation, a buyer presentation, putting your packages together, maybe signing up for MLS mailings or the Personal Marketing Co. Go subscribe to our YouTube station at youtube.com/LAER training. All of these little things will compound over time. The little changes you make will compound over time. to become the big things for your business. If you are not a LAER agent and you're interested in learning more about our brokerage, we're always expanding. So even if we're not in your marketplace yet, we will be eventually. So if you're interested in learning more about the tools, training, and technology available at LAER, email me, Stacey Alcorn, at happyagent@laerrealty.com, and we'll set up a one-on-one call. I can show you some of the other tools and technologies that we have available. But with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us today for such a long, 3 hours on a webinar is super hard work. So I appreciate your dedication to your businesses. And I want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you at the start of 2025. Thanks, everyone.